And we welcome you to another edition of This is Wrestling. And yes, if you're listening on Sunday afternoon, May the 3rd, the day before the day I hate the most that people talk about. Versage, Zach McGibbon. It is Sunday, so if you want to get in on the chat. But Zach, I didn't even know we were going to go live, but we had so many things to talk about on This is Wrestling. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Versage. Yes, as you mentioned, it is May the 3rd. Tomorrow, May the 4th. I believe it is Tanner Ryle's favorite holiday. So a big fan of that. You're shaking your head, but that is a big day. I mean, you have to go past the it's got to be May phase of May or May 1st. Then you get into May 4th. And then, of course, there's Cinco de Mayo that's coming up as well.
So I enjoy Cinco de Mayo. Like, I can get behind Cinco de Mayo, but does wrestling have a day, Zach? Like, I guess people could argue that March the 16th, happy 316 day.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a day, but it's not really a day. Like this
really.
May the 4th be with you stuff. Like, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, if you want to go deep into the wrestling lore, you could do Kane's movie, See No Evil, and go May 19th is the big wrestling day. Because that was the date that Kane didn't want to hear. Like, no, don't talk about May 19th. May 19th. I don't want to hear about May 19th. So maybe May 19th is a wrestling day. Also in May.
Okay, I don't know that any of them need to happen. Like, take the Star Wars one out. Don't have a Star Trek one. Don't have a wrestling one. It's fine.
Not into the themed days. I see. Usually I'm the no fun one, but in this case, it is
no fun. It's way too specific. Like Cinco de Mayo is, a big thing in the culture of a country.
Yep,
and it represents a lot. This is a stupid Star Wars thing. Like it's Zach. Like this is not comparable to Cinco de Mayo or something else. Like, come on. Oh, what a start. But there's so many different things to get to. And here at the Palatial Estates, we like to sometimes, pop open whether it's a Ashton 0.5 or a regular beer, but I'm doing something different today.
Nice.
I figured there's other than I'm thirsty and I got to talk to you for the next 2 hours about wrestling in the middle of a Sunday afternoon.
Of course.
But I figured that there's lots of reasons to do this, and I'll hold it up to the camera as close as I can.
I see it.
And what it is an Ottawa Wheat 26. So this is a beer. It's a raspberry beer, but it's, the official sort of beer of the Ottawa Charge. And I love when breweries do this because I like the tie-in between sports and beer and breweries. There's a lot of different ones around here. One of the first cans I saw a while ago was sort of down your neck of the woods with Riverhead. They did a Kingston Frontenac's anniversary beer. I know that there's a 4 Degrees brewery in Smith Falls doing a Smith Falls Bears 60th anniversary beer. And this one, Emily Clark, is number 26 for the Ottawa Charge women's hockey team in the area. And Zach, who makes this beer?
That looks like a Broadhead Brewery logo.
Oh, okay. Well, it is. And this hit the market, I believe last year. I'm trying to think of when. But, for Emily Clark getting together and partnering with Broadhead Brewery to become the first female professional athlete in Canada to release her own inspired craft beer, with some of the proceeds going towards the Breast Health Center at the Ottawa Hospital, which is always good.
Yep.
And first of all, it's a raspberry ale. It's a delicious ale. But why I'm bringing all of this up is because, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but you go to Broadhead Brewery, I don't know, once every other month.
Yep.
Is that fair? Maybe
I
like
think that's fair.
six times a year, give or take?
Yep.
Because Remix Wrestling is in the brewery part. Is that true?
That is very true. They have their shows in the brewery part. They have us in kind of the corner. So you've walked into Broadhead Brewery, you see all the stacks of cans that are in there. They set up the ring in front of those stacks of cans for the nice visual. So yeah, that's usually where I broadcast the shows. I think this year it's going to be a little bit less in terms of the shows from what I'm hearing, but still make the trip down every couple of months and head down and call Remix. And that's always a fun time. So I saw the Broadhead Brewery and I was like, oh, there you go. Broadhead Brewery. I know that place. I go down there for the wrestling shows all the time.
Do you know what the next part of that sentence is?
What is the next part of that sentence?
So clearly you don't. So you've been to the Broadhead Brewery many times. This didn't come from you.
It did not come from me, no.
No. And I guess as like the lead announcer for Remix Wrestling, you're a local celebrity there. Like people are looking at you as much or more as they are the wrestlers. Like you're the voice of Remix Wrestling. Not one time have you decided that, you know what? My good friend and partner, Mr. Versage, who likes raspberry fruity beers. It's partnered. Like the proceeds go to the Breast Health Center, the Ottawa Hospital, the first female collaboration in Canada. Like there's a lot of reasons why you might dip into your pocket and go, you know what? I'm going to support that. There's a lot of reasons, Zach. Like you're driving to the brewery. I had to get this on my own, but that's okay. No problem.
Look, I'm just promoting the wrestling at the brewery. I'm not, I haven't been given the liners or whatnot.
Yeah. There's no liner. Zach, you could just walk up and say, I'd like 4 of Emily Clark's beers, please. I want to support a good cause.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So he started off on a negative note, but the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to guilt you into doing that at some point. But I'm also...
I got to go now to the people at Broadhead and be like, look, I need some specialty beers. Leave Versage. He's been dying for one of these specialty beers. And you know me, Lee, I am a connoisseur of the craft ales, of course, as you know.
Yeah,
so I got to play
I'm sure they make... I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure they make an alcohol-friendly version.
I'm sure.
Of some
Maybe you got to ask.
Actually, you know what? I do know that they have... what's the official term they use now? De-alcoholized version of the blueberry blonde at...
Ooh. All right.
So they do have that for sure. So if that's what you're looking for, they have things for everybody there, Zach. That's what I want you to take away from this conversation. There are things for everybody at that place. Well, there's wrestling, there's beer, there's supporting local causes, there's a tie-in to sports, there's all kinds of things.
Works perfectly.
It does. Working perfectly is not... You know what? I was going to start off on negative news, but I actually want to start off on positive. There's been more releases in the WWE, including some people that we would kind of laugh at, and then some people that are very surprising in the last couple of days. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I do want to start with something positive, because we've talked a lot of WWE in the recent past, is that from all indications, AEW is going back to Montreal, or I should say going to Montreal in July this year for Redemption pay-per-view, Zach. We're talking about like in 2.5 months. An AEW pay-per-view at the Bell Center? Let's go. I know it's not official, but it sounds like it is. And I think the sleuths, like the Superfan Ben Soublier and some of the others have kind of honed in on July 19th weekend. They think that's the weekend that they're going to go there. They're in Boston. for Dynamite Wednesday and Thursday. Before that, it would make sense. There's nothing going on in the Bell Center on that Saturday. Zach, let's go. Is this true, Zach? That's what I'm asking.
It looks pretty true to me. I mean, all the news that's come out about it and all the tips from the news outlets have been saying that, yep, that is what's happening. So looks like we got to plan another road trip, Lee. Looks like I got to get my my mobile recording studio like we did last time and get it all organized, and might be going on another road trip and might be recording from the car again and try and bring the van down. See how make our own teams like we did last time, and Lee Versage taking it very much in stride how his all his teams did not get picked. Whether it be in the voting or whatnot.
I got hosed on the trip, but what happened? What happened, Zach, when we got into a nicer location, the Palatial Estates? We did like a full team breakdown, and who came out on top? Like it wasn't even close. Like you were kind of close, and the other guy wasn't even in the vicinity. Like, so I got a handle on that stuff now. But you're right, getting in the van, and I think as the pay-per-view before All In coming up in London, England at the end of August, this is going to be a big one for AEW. It's pretty much going to set up their biggest show of the year. And from what we know from this company, they're going to do a pretty good job, you would think, at doing that. Like I'm already looking at, is that the finals of the Owen tournament in Montreal? It would make sense that would happen. And I don't know who's going to win the Owen, but right now I got my bets on Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay winning the Owen Hart tournament in Montreal. I am there for.
Absolutely. Oh yes. If they have the Owen Hart finals in Montreal, you better believe we're going to find a way to get to the building, the arena, Bell Center. And like I think I mentioned to you before, that will be the first time I've gone to the Bell Center to see wrestling. So that will be also something to check off the list there as well. So
not all of us for second row for the Montreal screw job.
Nope. Some of us weren't even born when the screw job happened, Lee.
Why?
Some of us were born 3 days later when the screw job happened.
3 days later after the Montreal screw job.
Yeah. November 9th was the screw job, right? My birthday's November 12th. So
yeah,
that was 97. So I was born 3 days after.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
love throwing that stat because I can see you just stopping your tracks.
Because I'm like excited to be able to go. No, I was at the Bell Center November 9th, 1997, the Montreal screw job. Yeah, I wasn't born.
Yeah. I was born 3 days later.
Kind of hurts the ego a little bit.
Yeah.
But
little did you know your future wrestling podcast co-host would be born a few days after that.
Yeah, little did I know, because that was a trip we did, the Montreal, Ottawa, Cornwall trio, and Raw was in Ottawa the next night. I'd never been to Ottawa before. And driving into Ottawa and trying to all the one-way streets downtown late at night after the screw job at 1 o'clock in the morning as we're rolling in from Montreal. And I remember it quite well. And I remember going to Cornwall and still just the craziness, because the internet wasn't that big of a thing, right? Like the internet was there, but it wasn't nearly what it is now. And you just couldn't find out that much information on it. And just to see the scramble within everybody, that they were just in this state of flux, and you didn't really know exactly what was going on, but you kind of got the idea that things are not what this is, no storyline, like things are a little bit more than that. And it turns out that it's, obviously been one of the biggest things that's ever happened in the world of professional wrestling. But yeah, so we'll have to get the van and go. Maybe you'll pick us up this time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a reversal because I have to go see you guys first. Right. And then we have to head to Montreal.
We could probably do enough to meet you at some point. But yeah, I mean, it could be that way. But that'll be, I think, an exciting time for a lot of people. And it does make sense from an AEW perspective to like a city that they can count on in fairly short notice to me, you absolutely would gear up again like they did at Dynasty. You know, you'd have probably Edge and Christian still involved with the tag team titles at that point. And there's a lot of other things that you could do. Like, will Kenny Omega be back in a big spot? You certainly would have the finals of the Owen, which would be very Canadian. So, man, that's excuse is in on the chat. I love these live shows because you never know. Like
Right.
we not like we told people that we were going live. We just decided that
Literally, Lee called me, was like, "Hey, you wanna go record soon?" And I'm like, "Well, how soon is soon?" He's like, "Well, I'm turning on the computer systems and I'm sending you a link in the next couple of minutes." Like, all right,
Zach.
here I am.
So already the song that you're going to lead into this show with,
Yes,
is what? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll repeat the words. How soon is soon?
Oh, how soon is now? There you go.
From the Smiths. I was
Right.
going to ask you that.
That's I should have known. I love the Smiths, so I should have caught that right away.
Yeah.
Yes.
How soon is now, Zach?
It's a great song.
But that's what I should have told you before. When are we going to record? How soon is now? But Skew says, Zach, the Bell Center, you can go, but you have to leave that hat at home.
Wow. Skew's not a fan of the Bass Pro Shops, I guess.
Well, it's a little hardcore country.
With the beard, absolutely. I have some flannel in the closet too.
Excellent.
So when I bring out the flannel and I wear the hat, they're like, "Zach, you look like a lumberjack." And I was like, "Well,
Nice.
it's kind of the aesthetic I'm going for." So
yeah, I don't know that downtown Montreal, the Bell Center, is that exact vibe.
No.
So maybe Excuse is onto something.
Well, I could look like as a reference for Excuse and maybe for some fans that watch Montreal, maybe I could be like the old LeDukes back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You kind of got a bit of a Sami Zayn thing going on, right?
Yeah, with the ginger beard,
Yeah,
I can see it.
And I actually was looking at I was singing his theme song coming in because off air, because I was just looking at a couple of posts that he was just randomly walking around Montreal and going in some different shops, and some fans were taking pictures with him this morning. So, what does this mean, Zach? Bear Country.
Tag team Bear Country?
McGibbon. Okay.
Yeah. You know the tag team Bear Country, Bear Bronson?
Yeah, I
don't talk about the other one because of what happened to him there, whatever happened there. But I believe that is the joke.
So we're honing in around July 19th, a Saturday in July for AEW Redemption. It would be the show before All in London, England, 5 weeks after that. So that's exciting from a perspective of a big show that's close. And for all the things, I even watched Collision last night.
Oh, there you go.
Could have been better, but then you get Collision's that weird mix of like, I really don't know why this match is on. Are they just getting people in training? And then all of a sudden there's a couple of, oh, okay, yeah, and Jack Perry and Mascara Dorada,
yes.
Dorada was really good last night.
Yeah, I saw some highlights from it. I haven't seen the match itself yet, but
it was a little bit like, sometimes I feel Jack Perry, like I feel with some of the women in AEW, that it's a little bit too like, I gotta do this move and I gotta do this move and then I gotta do this move, and then if we do this properly, like it's just not it doesn't feel like a natural fight. It feels a little bit choreographed. But man, they did some really good stuff in the match. There's a couple of near falls in the match where I'm like, oh, okay, it's over. Wow, okay, it's not over. Like, it kind of got me a little bit.
There you go.
So, okay, so that's a little AW. We can get back to that, but I think one of the biggest news items that's happened over the last couple of days here is that the New Day are no longer a part of the WWE. And if you believe the dirt sheets, multiple people reporting that they were asked to restructure their contracts from TKO after the releases, and they were like, yeah, we're good. See you later. We don't need that. And now our free agents, MJF has already put out on social media, a new day. Yes, it is. Is this something, Zach, that you feel they're going to go right to AEW? And did the WWE make a mistake in letting them go? They certainly didn't have anything for them over the last year or two.
Yeah, I think they'll go right to AEW. I think it just makes a ton of sense for them to go there and just really continue to elevate that tag team division that's already pretty damn good, especially in comparison to like modern major league professional wrestling. AEW easily has the best tag team division right now. So I think that's an easy slot for them to go in because New Day has been practically fabrics of the WWE ecosystem for the last 15 years or whatever. So, or however long they had been a team, including with Big E. So I think they're immediately going to go to AEW. I think there's a bunch of opponents that they could go to right away. You've seen the post from the past. I believe it was the Young Bucks that said, one day we will wrestle the New Day and everyone will be rejoicing. And obviously that day I think will come sooner rather than later.
That was in their Twitter bio at one point, where they decided that they would change messages every so often, and they put that in there one day. Yeah.
Yep, that was one of them, and now's the time to do it. And so they'll be the ones that'll be able to have that match. So I firmly believe it. I believe they have a 90-day no compete as part of their releases. So that's going to be something as well to kind of keep an eye on. But yeah, I think they're going to go straight to AEW. But that's all that to say, I don't think that's a mistake by WWE or even New Day to try and keep them around, because I feel like they've just been in that system for so long that I think it was just time. You know, there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the restructuring, because now you're starting to see more of the implementation of, you know, the contracts being restructured. New Day had just signed an extension apparently like a year ago. And TKO is already coming in saying we want to restructure the deals. And obviously, you know, Woods and Kofi are saying, well, look, we just came to a deal here, you know, last year, and now you're coming to us to restructure the deals. And if they're coming in to restructure, they're getting paid less as the offer. They're like, no, we're going to get paid what you guys agreed to on this deal. And it's not exactly like they're bleeding money right now. TKO, they're making a lot of money coming in. So, so that's obviously an argument for another day in terms of TKO and how they're restructuring, how they're kind of approaching their talent pool. And it was something I mentioned, I believe, on the last episode, where I think right now they're at 15% when it comes to the distribution of wealth from coming into TKO. 15% is going into talent. I saw some numbers saying they're trying to lower that down again because it's too high for them, which is crazy to think, because you look at sports leagues and, you know, it's 50% or more in some sports leagues. And they're trying to lower it down to like 8% is apparently the number that's being floated around. So, which is crazy, like incredibly greedy. But I even then, if you just look at their on-screen run, the New Day, I think it was well past their time to do something. It was pretty clear that they were not going to do anything after the big heel turn against Big E a few years ago now on that Raw, and they never capitalized on it. There was no return of Big E. They all that came of it was a match against the War Raiders at WrestleMania. It was like the first match of the first night. Like that was it for the New Day. So
well, you had to know even with the thought that they were going to do that angle, that there's no payoff because Big E isn't coming back.
Right.
Like there wasn't like, oh, they're going to have this big blow off afterwards. It was insane to do. Like the idea itself of doing a fight with a guy who's got a broken neck for real.
Yep.
Like, okay.
With no payoff.
Skew says another day will be their AEW tag team name. I think you could probably workshop that a little bit better, Excuse.
Yeah.
Feel like there's something else out there that would be a little bit better than another day. But we get the idea. I think those guys have been trailblazers in a lot of different ways, right? Like what Kofi Kingston's been able to do, not only with his career, but when, you know, the crazy run, the WWE title, and I even saw Swerve Strickland before about how much of an influence Kofi Kingston was for him and some of the other people that have come through. It would make sense that they could go there. I hope they don't go there and just do the New Day gimmick, but it would make sense for them to go there. Like, this is a real, like we were talking on the last show, like Zoe Stark and some of the other people. Like, this is now Tony Khan going out and getting someone or getting a team very recognizable and very respected around wrestling circles. Like, these are not guys that, oh, are they going to be a problem coming in? They're the antithesis of that, aren't they?
No, it sounds like they're very well liked in the locker room. And I think also, too, with some of the guys that are in the current locker room as well, I think Xavier Woods will be a perfect fit for them in terms of their video game content. They've got the AEW video games now. They can, cross promote with that. So that's easy cross promotion right there. And he's a charismatic guy. I think he'll be able to do well. And in the case of Kofi Kingston, when you look at his run, and he was there for a long time, 18 years he was there in the company. He debuted on WWE ECW, and he was Kofi Kingston. He had the Jamaican accent and then somehow lost the Jamaican accent through as many weeks on Raw. And there was even the joke with Triple H. I remember where he's like, aren't you supposed to have a Jamaican accent? He's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Then it's just great. But yeah, he's been there a long time. He was somebody that for a time he was battling for the WWE Championship against Daniel Bryan. He had the big WrestleMania moment there, and that wasn't even supposed to be his spot at that point. He was somebody that I believe it was Mustafa Ali that was supposed to be in that spot. He got hurt. And they said, well, let's go with Kofi Kingston. And it ended up being one of the more memorable WrestleMania moments. And that match was a fantastic match, too. That was easily the best match on that night of WrestleMania, too. So there's a lot in the career of Kofi Kingston. He was somebody that was reliable. You could rely on him to go out there, have a good match, be there on TV each week. And he's somebody that I think is a loss in that sense. But at the same time, you look at guys like in the past with Dolph Ziggler, like that was a guy that had to move on. Zack Ryder was there for a long time before he came back, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to move on. And we're in an era of pro wrestling right now where it used to be with territories, you would be in a territory for maybe a year or two. Like, all right, I've got all my storylines done. I've maximized what I'm able to do. Now I'm going to travel from, let's say, Mid-South, and I'm going to go down to Florida, and I'm going to work in Florida, and then I'll go up to Georgia and whatnot. But because of the way of the layout, guys want that stability, and I don't blame them. But when you want that stability and you want to be there, 18 years on TV is a long time in TV land. It's a really long time. And so it's why I always talk about TV age in pro wrestling, because sure, you could have a guy that's like 38, but if his TV age is like, couple months, he's practically like a 25-year-old. Obviously, you have to look at it how long he's going to be able to stay at a peak, but you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but having said that, though, with Kofi, I think because of the team he was in with New Day, again, easy fit for them to go to AEW and be part of that tag team division. And is it crazy of me to say, Lee, and I'm usually not one of these people that is a proponent of these kind of matches, but if you want to really send a statement to WWE and show this is where tag team wrestling is it really that crazy to have a 4-way match between the Bucks, FTR, Edge and Christian, Cope and Cage, and the New Day, all in that one ring, and you have that opening bell pop of all the fans standing up cheering, and then you get the tag team wrestling chant or whatever. I think that is on the mind of Tony Khan to have that at least in there.
Well, especially if they were going to do, like and we'll see, because Double or Nothing coming up in about 3 weeks. Edge and Christian, I'm just gonna call them Edge and Christian. Like
Yes.
I'm not, but Edge and Christian's tag team careers are on the line, not individual careers. But so I'm assuming they're going to win. It would make sense for me that always the plan was going to be a triple threat at All In between the Bucks and FTR and Edge and Christian. Well, if that's what you were going to do anyway, the New Day's 90 days will be up by then.
Yep.
Just do it a 4-way. It would be massively over. Like, the casual fan would be excited because they know who those guys are going over to a different promotion. Mm-hmm. And the hardcore fan, like me and you and some of the other, we have no issue with them going over. Probably makes it just as good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, who says no at that point?
I don't know who else would be, unless you're just the hardest of hardcore WWE fans that don't want to watch anything else, or any sort of, wrestling promotion that doesn't want to watch anything else. But otherwise, yeah, like, that's the time to do it. Like, you want to showcase yourself. Like, the big thing with AEW is you have to show the things that make you different from WWE to entice, and tag team wrestling easily is what makes them different from WWE. So showcase that. And especially, like you mentioned, if you're going to do that at an all-in type or whatnot, as a big stadium show, that's where you want to do it.
Look who's in. Josiah.
Pastor Josiah's in the house.
Zach and Lee. We're calling it exactly.
There you go. That's right. Exactly.
Right?
How we do it.
Get it right, Josiah. You want to come in and make a splash? I know you're yelling. It's capitalized. That's great.
All caps.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Nice to have you part of things, Josiah. You never know when live shows are going to pop up.
That's right.
And we didn't even know that a live show.
I was going to say, sometimes the hosts themselves don't even know.
Well, it popped up, honestly, because after, like, if you want the real inside scoop, after puppy sitting, I had a little bit of free time, but I'm like, I'm not doing anything tonight. Like, the Habs Lightning are on 6 o'clock, game 7. We got the Raptors Cavaliers game 7 with one of the most incredible shot endings I've ever seen. Have you ever seen a shot go in the way that RJ Barrett hit that shot, where it went so far up in the air and then to come back down through the hoop? Like, it went well above the basket.
Yes.
And the glass, and came back down through. If I have seen that happen, I've seen it happen like once or twice ever in the history of the sport, let alone with 1 second to go in your season on the line. Like, if it's that game with the Knicks in Atlanta where it was like 86-34, I haven't seen it in a game like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I've never seen that before, but they're up by 50. No, their season was on the line. They had to have that shot go in, and that's when it happened. I'm in for game 7. I can tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
the only thing closer, funny enough, all in Raptors history too, was the Kawhi Leonard shot against the Sixers, where it just bounced around the net for what felt like an eternity, but never anything where the ball got as high as it did, and you're like, is this just going to fall straight through? And there was no swish or anything. It just went right through
and
the
net. Difference with the Kawhi shot is that they could have won that game in overtime. That game was tied when Kawhi Leonard did that.
That's true.
It doesn't take away from it. And they went on to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, and then they went on to beat the Golden State Warriors and win the NBA championship, which obviously helps, which I don't think the Raptors are going to do. But they were down 1. And I forget now who the player was. It's escaping me, but he missed the second free throw with like 20 seconds to go. And it's like, oh my God, they just gave the game away. And then they stole the ball, which never happens in that spot. And then they hit the most unlikely of shots ever in the world. So yeah, okay, you got me for game 7. But both of those things are happening tonight. So I'm like, I'm not doing anything tonight. So Zach, I got to do it now.
That's right. He called me up. I was like, all right, I guess we'll
Yeah.
do a show.
Josiah says, I was at a youth church event as a leader, and one of the other staff members ran in screaming, Raptors won in the middle of a staff meeting. Ridiculous play. So awesome. Yeah, I was actually out at a local sports bar and just wrapping up. It was a bar where like the sound was on, smaller place. You've been there before, Zach.
Yep.
Final score, but over there watching the Habs, and the volume was on and all the TVs were on that. And, you know, the Tampa goal goes in overtime and the whole bar was dejected. I wasn't personally dejected, but the rest of the bar was dejected.
Yep.
And, you know, they then kind of turned it on the Raptors game because it was not on. Like everyone in the bar was watching the Montreal Tampa game. They turned it on. There's 4 minutes in overtime. And I'm like, well, we're not going home. We're watching the end of overtime.
Right.
And then that happened. And people were watching, but like kind of getting back to the eating and wrapping up. And when that shot went in, this eruption in the bar, like just that no way that could possibly happen. So yeah, both those things going on tonight is the reason why we're doing a live show today. But so much we haven't talked in a little bit, and there's just a ton to get to. So yes, the New Day, are they on the way to AEW? Hard to believe that they wouldn't be. The other ones, like more releases and the more shows we do. How about JC Mateo and Tonga Loa? So Jeff Cobb's run in the WWE lasts less than a year. One of the most, like, I hope he got paid well. I do.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really hope that he got paid well during the year and that people go, like, he can at least look back and go, yeah, I got a good payday. Like,
because otherwise there's not much to really look at.
Right. Otherwise, no. And your boy, Tonga Loa.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, AEW will probably scoop him up first.
Give him a big push right away and have him be the guy to dethrone when MJF gets the title belt back. That's
Right.
a spoiler, but poor Tonga Loa. We said it on this show. It was like, oh, I don't think people are fully ready for the Tonga Loa experience when it comes to his in-ring ability. Whether it be him trying to do the 619 or the Tiger Feint kick or whatever you want to call it, and him just stopping short. I've never seen it looked like somebody actively hit pause while he was trying to like hit the 619 and he got caught up in the rope and just tangling. It's like, or that the strike exchange with Kazuchika Okada.
With Okada, just it's you described it perfectly. As in, that's the part that if you're watching wrestling with somebody who doesn't watch it normally, you're like, oh my God, no, I don't need them to see this. Like, please don't let them see this.
Yes.
Right?
Even the first time he arrived and they were expanding out the bloodline or whatever the group was at the time, you could even see at that point because he missed a cue trying to come in. And I was like, oh, they aren't ready for the full Tonga Loa experience when he comes in. It really is a sad day for all of professional wrestling that Tonga Loa is no longer employed, but nonetheless, in the case of Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, you knew from the first jump the way that he debuted with the shirt and the lawn pants or the jeans or whatever, and you're like, that's not how Jeff Cobb's supposed to look.
Yeah.
And they were clearly covering him up. He eventually got back to the singlet, but first impression is like, they do not see anything in this guy. Not a thing. And I'm like, man, how can you not see anything in this guy? Yes, he's older, but boy, is he athletic for a guy his size. For a dude that wide to be able to just do a standing moonsault so casually. And some of the great matches I saw him have in New Japan. I mean, I was blown away that they looked at this guy's like, he's probably not going to be much. He's just going to be like a muscle guy for our stable. So now it sounds like he's kind of, we'll see, because it is pro wrestling. I said it with Aleister Black at the time where he was kind of making some moves that made it seem like he was burning a bridge. He did some similar things in New Japan, clearly getting some bad advice and just like
Yeah.
I'm not leaving New Japan, he says in a backstage skit. And then, oh, by the way, I am leaving New Japan. The dirt sheets were 100% correct on this. That's not a good thing to do. Like, just, you don't have to say anything. And it sounded like he rubbed some people the wrong way in the United Empire group. I remember, what's his name? TJP released some stuff, and TJP isn't exactly a saint either.
I was going to say, yeah.
But, you know, it was clearly some stuff where he rubbed some people the wrong way. I will say this. I've had a couple of like personal interactions with Jeff Cobbs, and he was great to me. So, but having a personal interaction was good doesn't mean he's an overall great guy. Sometimes we try to kind of lose sight of that. It's like, oh, he's great to me. Yeah, but he wasn't great to that person. Like each person is different, right? So all I could say is that I thought it was cool to deal with. I've chatted with him a couple of times, but the stuff, the way the New Japan went. So you better be hoping that, you know, AEW will be picking up the phone and calling him. And I do think he would be a candidate for AEW. He's been on their programming before. And I think Jericho's brought him in for his stable at one point as sort of like a hired gun sort of deal with Jeff Cobb. And he's 43, but I still think he can provide some stuff if he's motivated. So I think he's another guy I would hire. But again, you're probably not going to get too much out of him much longer for next couple of years. You start to see the decline now with a lot of wrestlers around 45. So, and he's 42, 43. So we'll see with him. But he clearly did not have the run that I think even he was expecting when it came to his WWE run.
Who had the bigger run? Tonga Loa, JC Mateo, or the Gingerbread Man?
Oh, jeez. We'll talk about that. About the storylines here.
Like that is the segue into the Gingerbread Man.
Well, the Gingerbread Man is being more featured right now than Tonga Loa and JC Mateo. So not exactly great. If I'm one of those guys, I'm like, man, my push is getting stifled by the Gingerbread Man, and I had to say that out loud, I'd probably quit the company before TKO had the chance to let me go.
So let's just get into this a little bit about from a host of different ways. First of all, I always think about young talent coming in and being like what you're doing with young talent initially if you have big plans for them. I don't necessarily feel the way others do, but I get why people like Trick Williams. Okay. He's got a look. The more that he gets the microphone and is allowed to do his thing, the better he is. He's a prototypical WWE guy where I don't think he's the best wrestler in the world, but he doesn't need to be with all the other things that they're going to have for him. So we all thought, to me, when we previewed WrestleMania, it was Obafemi, it was Javon Evans, and it was Trick Williams. And Trick Williams goes out and he beats Sami Zayn for the U.S. title, and they're going to feature Trick Williams. Okay, he's made the main roster. He's won the U.S. title. He wrestled at WrestleMania, and he beat a really good wrestler in Sami Zayn. And this is what we have for you, Trick. What is going through his mind, Zach? Like, what is going through Trick Williams' mind that he is going to be coming out of a door and upset that the Gingerbread Man has died, and the fact that he's now giving Sami Zayn a rematch because of what Sami Zayn did to the Gingerbread Man? Like, again, like trying to be calm, and I texted you one of the, you see all these people that do the watch along thing.
Yep.
And he was very calm about it, but just about what are they doing? Like, what is it that they're trying to accomplish? What is it that they like, where that they want to get to? So starting with the Trick Williams stuff, I'm like, this is how you're going to treat the talent that you want to push? Oh my God. Like, for people who have been around for a long, sorry, that's a live show. I never have my ringer on, but I turned it on for you. and now the phone went off.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
All
It's a
good.
live show though for you, Zach. Okay,
It's live, pal.
the gingerbread man, like, and Trick Williams, like, what is going on?
Well, isn't it just an amazing state of pro wrestling that we are sitting here on a Sunday afternoon and we are casually discussing the gingerbread man and his involvement in professional wrestling and how his importance in a big storyline and trying to get a young talent over in Trick Williams. This is the point that we've gotten to. The way that they did that segment on SmackDown, those SmackDowns are just bad shows. Like, they're just awful shows. And the fact that they looked at this, you know what happened? They probably saw the gingerbread man come out there that 1 week of SmackDown doing the dance, and people were like latching on to it. It's like, oh, this is kind of funny. They saw the reaction on social media. They're like, you know what? Let's go further with this. It's one of wrestling's biggest weaknesses is that they see something that works and they think everything can be extended to multiple weeks of
Let's
programming.
define works.
Yeah, works.
Like,
Got likes on Instagram, got likes on an Instagram reel works.
Because I'm not sure it ever worked, but I understand what you're saying. You do something once and it gets some sort of viral reaction, and they just glom onto it and do everything about it. Like, it's
and they just milk it for everything that it's worth.
Skew says this isn't new. Remember a bunny getting over more than Adam Rose? I don't remember a bunny being in the middle of a feud with one of your next up and coming major stars. And Sami Zayn, who has been there for you for a long time. Like, no offense to Adam Rose, but he was never in that sort of category.
Yeah, it was very much a lower mid-card story.
So they even go on though, Zach. And it was The Miz, was it not? That was on and kind of yelling like, we're devoting TV time to this. We're giving, like, he's saying this on camera.
Yes.
Like, we are devoting TV time. This guy's getting more TV time than us. And he's talking to Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis is looking at him with a serious face going, well, yeah.
Have you seen these quarter-hour ratings when the gingerbread man is on? We have to put him on.
I just don't. And then, like, Sami Zayn's beating up the gingerbread man with nobody in the costume.
Yep. And they acknowledge that there's nobody in the costume, but then they go behind this and they're like, with a serious face, like it's an episode of General Hospital.
Yeah.
They come out of the room and they're like, oh, the gingerbread man is dead.
You didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
But
couldn't take him to the local medical facility in time.
What we're all thinking, The Miz is actually saying on the air, like, this is getting TV time on our show. And you're like, yep, you're dedicating more time to him than you are to other people in the locker room. Yep. And I think Nick Aldis actually said something back to him, like, be respectful. Like, that the gingerbread man died. Like, what, Zach? AEW just has to be licking their lips to go, all we need to do is put a pro wrestling match on.
Yes. All we have to do is be even just remotely competent at this point.
No, we don't even need a story. Like, just put some people in the ring that can wrestle. That's it. That's the bare minimum now, because whatever they're doing over on the other show, as you said, this SmackDown was god awful. Like, Ricky Saints comes up and all of a sudden he's challenging Cody Rhodes, and you're like, well, they're just really good friends. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why Ricky Saints is being featured like this. He didn't really get over to me in NXT. It's not like he did something that was like, oh my God. Like, the only person in the NXT world that has been called up to the main roster that I'm excited to see is Ethan Page. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. And just because he is capable himself on doing things that he doesn't need the NXT or WWE writers to do for him, he'll figure it out and he'll actually make it somewhat entertaining. But like JC Jane comes up and it's like, oh, of course she's going to beat Charlotte Flair because she needs a big win over somebody big. So then she's going to win. And then they're doing The Miz and Kit Wilson and Danhausen, which we'll get to in a second. And, then Damian Priest and R-Truth are out after them defending the tag team titles. And you're like, yeah, R-Truth and the tag team titles for sure.
Absolutely. Why not? Buy in.
And then they're setting up the MFTs and Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu for the end of the night. You're like, oh my God. And then the Gingerbread Man. Like, oh, but don't forget, here's all the other people that we've called up, and here's Blake Monroe, and we got Royce Keys, and we're not really doing anything with any of those people.
Yeah. Royce Keys debuted on SmackDown a few weeks ago. People were like, finally, they're putting him on TV because you remember the thing that was released from the sheets saying that he needs to know how to work the WWE cameras, and like I'm like, he was on AEW for a few years. Like, he knows how this it's like, oh, he's got to like tilt his body like a more of an angle to try and get what are you talking about? Like, he knows how this works. It'd be one thing if it's like you or I getting called up to WWE main roster. We don't know a thing about like looking at a camera because we're all radio guys. It's like, okay, you got to get used to that. But it's another thing when it's a guy that's been on TV on on Turner broadcasting stations, and Royce Keys. And they're like, oh no, he needs time. And then he debuts, and what has he done since then? Yeah. What has been the big Royce Keys storyline?
But don't let me forget the fact that they actually, for once, at least could have done something with the and what's their names? The Irresistible Forces. They came out looking like Demolition and Nia Jax and Lash Legend. They could have been a bit more of a dominant team or something. But of course, they lost to Brie Bella and Paige because Paige was debuting.
Yep.
Well, they had the rematch on Friday night. And if you can believe it, Zach, there was a roll-up victory.
What?
I know. It's stunning. And the fact that Brie Bella rolled up Nia Jax. Like, how is that even believable? Nia Jax would outweigh her by 100 pounds.
Yeah. Or Brie Bella just rolling up anybody from the Irresistible Forces.
Right. Like, it's just not, like, there's nothing logical about that at all. Nothing.
Yeah. But Lee, the road agents, were looking through this and saying, look, nope, this is good. Who am I to deny these road agents that are getting paid to make sure that they look at this stuff and say, does this make sense for our programming? And being another voice in the room to say, okay, does this make sense? Brie Bella rolls up Nia Jax. Sure, sounds good. Give me my paycheck.
So all of that to lead to who was on the phone with Jacob Fatu. Do you know what I needed in my life, Zach? I needed a storyline from the WWE. Not even 1 month after Randy Orton was on the phone for a month, wondering who it was. And it turned out to be Pat McAfee, which they've just
they are acknowledging that storyline too, by the way, of Randy punting him.
Pat McAfee gone, Jelly Roll gone, and Randy Orton punted Cody Rhodes, and that's gone too. Like, so you know what we need? We need another who was Jacob Fatu on the phone with storyline, and we got it. Thankfully, we got it. And as Josiah says, another phone storyline. Like, Zach, come on. Like, give me something that lets this make any sense and not have them be the dumbest people of all time to do this. Like, I don't want to call them that, but this is so idiotic that they would say, you know what's a good idea? Putting somebody on the phone and the announcer's coming back. Who was Jacob Fatu talking to on the phone? Like, are you kidding me right now, Zach? What the hell is happening? And Tanner's in to say it's TKO on the phone asking to restructure his contract. The Tanner's here. I know, and Chris is here. I did say I was puppy sitting earlier in the episode.
That's right.
So I didn't know it was a live show today. Would have let Luna stay and make her own OSN debut. Her and Ripley would have a tag team, barked at Zach, and Luna doesn't even bark. Oh, man, would have barked at you. Yeah, you and dogs have this weird, like, me and
well, just Ripley. Like, no, dogs are overall.
This is what you say, but it's kind of got that me and WWE thing going on. Like, I get closer, and then it's like, no, something happens, and you just can't get past this certain point.
Oh, Ripley has heat with me. I don't have heat with Ripley. Okay, like
it only takes one side to have heat.
I know. I'm just saying it's a one-sided heat right now. I don't have heat. I'm great. Like I love Ripley, but Ripley does not love me. Ever since I took away that chicken wing from her, like she took that personally. Okay,
I'm great. I took a chicken wing away. You were trying to do the right thing.
I was trying to. Look, not all. Sometimes, you're not the hero right away for people, and in this case, it's taken a long time for Ripley. Ripley, I don't think will ever get over that heat. As soon did Ben tell you? As soon as I drove up onto the driveway, and Tanner said that too, Ripley was barking at my car.
Like from 100 feet away. Yes. Not even knowing like that you weren't in the house and went to your car. You were just pulling in the driveway. And she knew, that's bad news.
It's bad news right there. Like that's a level of heat that I didn't even know I could attain. Like I'm not even mad at that point. I'm impressed.
It
was my new car, yes.
Your new car. Like, doesn't even remember the old one.
No.
But she just had the sense, right?
Yeah.
That sense of we need another phone call storyline.
Yes.
We need, we can't have Zach here. Just trust in Ripley, trust in Luna. They were best friends today, by the way. I was yesterday and today I was the hub of like the third party meeting place for all the dogs to feel good about each other. Zach, they might have even liked you if you were here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, this is just more like reasons. Like, I'm just not going to show up for this booking. Like, I'm not going to ruin a good thing here. It's like, certain people in the locker room, as soon as they walk in, people are like, ugh, that's probably the dogs, like, that's probably what I have. Like, oh, there he is. He's coming in. And it's like, don't have an issue with Ripley or Luna or any dogs, right. but Ripley has issues with me. I've not met Luna yet, but
hold on. Excuses in saying it's not just dogs who bark at Zach. Huh.
I don't know the reference excuse, so
well, maybe it's just everybody that barks at you because everyone's got heat with you.
We all got heat.
Tanner says don't let him go to Braun Breaker meet and greet.
Right.
Or the War Dogs.
Well, I think the War Dogs just don't like anybody, period, based on their TV.
The Junkyard Dog. Well,
British Bulldog. I'll give you another one there, Tanner. British Bulldog. Baby Boy Smith.
And JYD have both passed on, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I don't know how you're going to get past this one.
I don't know either. I get heat with dogs. I don't understand. The dogs that at my parents' house, like dogs that I see, they're great with me. So I don't know.
You know what? This is a lot of you said. Like, I've never seen that. I've never seen dogs be
You've been at my house. You've been at my house with the dogs.
They weren't great with you.
Or me. No, they were great. Ruby was fantastic with me. Watson doesn't respond to stuff right away, but Watson's great with me. Like how he loves you is when he leans on you, and he leans on me all the time. So I'm great with my dogs.
I feel like you're justifying this. I'm not sure because when we were there, I didn't see that. Uh-oh. Tanner says need your entrance music. We let the dogs out.
Big 90s hit.
To be fair, the last time I saw Zach in person, I yelled, Zach McGibbon! So I can relate to the dog.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There's a lot going on here, Zach.
This chat has gotten super active just talking about
It has.
the dog's heat with me. It's one dog too. Like you're just extrapolating. It's like all dogs hate Zach. He's like, no. Let's not. Like Ripley has hate with me. Absolutely.
That big of a problem with you that knows your new car rolling into the driveway and going, yeah, that's bad news.
I don't know. It's just the vibe I give. Again, you take that one chicken wing away, and then it's just heat for life. Just heat for life.
When Christian McCaffrey put up 50 yards on the Cowboys, he barked at Zach too. What a dog. Yeah, that'll be the last. Well, first of all, that 50 yards would be a lucky day now for Christian McCaffrey on that new Dallas vaunted defense.
Yes.
Like come on. They have built themselves into a massive contender now. So Zach and I are going to be barking all day long during the NFL season, but we're not there yet. And we should try and get this back. And I do want to know what's happening here because I'm going to put this back up on the screen. And for those listening, Chris was in saying, didn't know it was a live show and let Luna stay because I was puppy sitting Luna for the night. By the way, happy 40th birthday, Krisha. And sounds like Chris did well for his wife this weekend, is what I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, Chris.
Yeah. I think if Chris starts to tell you what he did and you're like, oh, that's really nice. He's like, no, that's just the beginning.
That was just
and then he gets to the middle. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that much. He's like, that's not it. I did more. But let's get to this because there's one in here from Le Champion, which is different from the other one we got.
I think Chris renamed himself during the middle of the show. So,
well, I'm not going to read it for two reasons. Number one, don't rename yourself, and then number two, whatever you're talking about, I can't even get into with how bad SmackDown was and how like unbelievably bad, like one of the worst shows you've ever seen bad with the gingerbread man funeral and everything else. So go back and listen to the beginning because I think you're not going to be happy, Chris, with me or Zach and your pro WWE need to hear everything rah, rah, bang, bang. Oh, they're the best. It's like I had people actually ask me, Zach, about the Ottawa Senators, about why the announcers were so negative. And I'm like, I responded with, what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear this rah bull crap stuff that people just tell you that you're great even though you're not? Is that what you want to hear? Because people are just telling you the truth. And if you don't like it, oh my God. Yeah. And Tanner says a quick like, hey Lee, quack quack. Again.
Yeah, not great for you there, Lee.
No. It's fine. It's totally fine. Svechnikov got his first point of the playoffs last night. I thought that was nice.
Nice.
In round two. Yeah, and look, this is coming from a guy who picked the Edmonton Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. Tanner Rao. So what is he doing saying quack quack to me?
Well, I think it's just funnier because you picked a majority Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, okay. And I was, when they were down 3-2, I said they were going to come back. And I said, Tanner, who you got? And he's like, well, I pick Anaheim. I'm like, okay, you put $50 on it? No. Well, then you should have. Okay? You should have. But he also picked the Edmonton Oilers to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So, quack, quack.
Yeah. Just two words, and it got Lee into this headspace.
But you know what it actually got me into a little bit more? Maybe this is for a different platform now, but which we do have on OSN, which we could do at any time. But absolutely. Did everybody see the Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl press conferences? Because if you did, you would be like, number one, they were asked tough questions, right?
Yep.
Leon Draisaitl was asked directly. Connor McDavid's got 2 years left. Does that reshape how you look at the team? And his answer was like, of course it does. Like, we got 2 years. Fix this. Like, heaven forbid that question ever be asked to, I don't know, an Ottawa senator. Oh, the media is so tough. They're just so tough here. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl get drilled every day. And you know what they did? They stood up there and not only took it, but like had conversations with people about what it's like. It's like, we need to get significantly better. Our window is short. We took a step back as an organization. They said all of these things, right? Meanwhile, Brady Tkachuk is up 3 days after the season ends because he had a baby, and congratulations for him, saying that he's really frustrated and it's a massive distraction for him to be asked about this stuff. What hat was he wearing, Zach? Do you remember?
I do not, unfortunately, no.
Right. And many people might not have noticed this, but it was a St. Louis bar hat. Okay? Well, I'm sorry, Brady, that you don't want to be asked about, and it's been such a big distraction to you. By the way, Connor McDavid's getting it. Leon Draisaitl's getting it, and they're both way better players than you. So sorry that you're distracted for it. But maybe Connor McDavid isn't going to wear, like, he's from Newmarket. I don't know where he wants to go. Does he want to play in Toronto? Does he want to play with the Rangers? He's not wearing a bar hat from New York City or Toronto up in his press conference. He's not that dumb. Come on. Like, it's these little things. Maybe not a big deal, but why couldn't he have been wearing I don't know, like a
Ottawa
crazy,
Senators hat?
no, but like a bar from here.
Yep.
Any bar.
Yep.
And when he's asked, like, even if he doesn't want to sign here in 2 years, if he's just asked about, hey, I get frustrated, like I'm even wearing like a Ashton Pub hat or a Cheshire Cat hat or whatever. No, he's wearing a St. Louis bar hat. Awesome. You don't want to be asked about it. Go watch Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, how they handled their end of the season meetings, and then come back to me. We do have a different place to do this.
I was going to say.
Okay.
Yes, this is the wrestling podcast. So
okay. The Champion says, what do you think about this non-WWE AEW topic then? Trevor Murdoch officially announced his retirement from pro wrestling. 45-year-old, former 3-time WWE Tag Team Champion, 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And Skew says Trevor Murdoch is so tough. Is it is it real?
I only saw the social media post on it. I assume with all these wrestler stuff that it's not real until like he just kind of announced it after a match or whatever, right? So it's like
on TV.
On TV. So you always have to take that stuff with a grain of salt, especially in pro wrestling when it comes to retirements. In the case of the career of Trevor Murdoch, I mean, he had the run in the tag team division there in the late 2000s with WWE, and then kind of bounced around the indies a little bit, kind of resurfaced with the NWA, and has been pretty much a staple of the NWA since then. Mm-hmm. Like Nick Aldis obviously was the original guy that, like, as part of Billy Corgan's revival of the brand, that he was the lead guy. But when it comes to Trevor Murdoch, he was somebody that I had always gotten the sense that he was like a solid worker, but I hadn't seen too much of him. So
Josiah says, I recapped every episode of NWA Power from start to about 2022 for the Wrestling Observer, F4W. He was legit the only bright spot on the show for a long, long time. Worked really hard. Rest of the show sucked, but he was great there. Best run of his career. Yeah, I think that's kind of how I saw him too. Like a really hard worker and a guy that, because he was so invested, it made you want to invest.
Yeah.
That's how I always saw him.
He was a very much an old school worker,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to his look. And I've been told when people are not making comps to me and another fellow by the name of Hornswoggle, that I apparently look a lot like Trevor Murdoch.
Why would they make a comp when it's just you?
That's the thing.
That's not a comparable. That's a. He was an incredible baby face, made you believe. And you know what? We don't have as much of that in pro wrestling, that people that actually make you believe. Zach, I didn't even get to with all the WWE stuff about the gingerbread man and the we need another phone call angle.
Yes.
They also have a mystery partner angle.
Yes, with Danhausen. Get fired up. How can you not be fired up for that?
So I asked you, and I could replay it for people on, and Tanner is wondering if there's an OSN watch along party. Was still trying to secure, I don't want to say a bigger name, Tanner, but like a name that's more than me or you, or like, yeah, no. And look, all you guys are really important. I get it. But I was trying to secure someone else, I guess, that was also important to come along for the watch party.
TKO called it the celebrities, right? Instead of the main events.
Yeah, we can. I would say we're probably going to get on during the Montreal game, but I don't know that it'll be like this official, like Brad Brown or John Shabbat or like Chris Stevenson or any of these guys are going to be popping over in a few hours. But it doesn't mean we can't go on and have some fun, and I can rant more like I just did and tell everyone how many dogs don't like Zach. A mystery partner angle with Danhausen. And so the reason I'm fired up about that SmackDown is because I watched the whole thing and it was so goddamn awful. Like, it was so bad. The only part of the show I enjoyed was Danhausen. And I asked you on the last watch along party, and I asked everybody.
Yep.
It was a simple yes or no question. And I do want our This Is Wrestling audience to answer this without a big, long prefacing explanation of why the answer is what it is, pretty much like Zach did. It was a yes or no answer. Is Danhausen entertaining to you? What did you say, Zach? Remind us.
Put me into this corner.
It just starts talking again.
I didn't love it. Well, you know what you're doing. You know, like, this is a tough question for me. I just wanted an answer. No, you put me in this tough corner, and you knew what was coming up.
Like that, really? Oh, okay, well. I thought
secretly.
Probably better than it usually sounds. So, okay.
No, you put me. I know how you operate, Lee. You're like, oh, no, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions around here. But you know what this question was. You know how I operate. And you know that it's tough for me to give a yes or no answer on something like that. So you box me into this corner, and I'm like, oh, God, how do I answer this? And then it's like, no, Zach. It's got to be a yes or no answer. There's nothing else. It's like, but the answer I gave was yes in short bursts. But to simplify it even further, I said yes.
Thank you. I watched a horrible episode of SmackDown on Friday, and he was the only thing that was entertaining me. Now, do I like the mystery partner angle? No. Do I like the fact that The Miz and Kit Wilson are a tag team on a pay-per-view? No. So there's some things I do not like about it, for sure. But as Tanner said, probably going to be 3 mini Danhausens in a trench coat.
Whoa! How wacky will that be?
Well, as wacky as the Survivor Series with, was it Doink?
Dink and Pink and Wink, I think were the names.
Jerry Lawler had
the Three Kings and whatever.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Cheesy, Wheezy, and Sleazy or whatever. Yeah. I know this, but I don't know math, Lee. Like, I know Jerry Lawler's, Kings in the Survivor Series match against Doink the Clown. But if you were to tell me about how to do math, like advanced math, I can't do it.
Mhm. So I don't love the mystery partner angle along with the phone call, who's on the phone angle.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of intrigued. Can Danhausen continue to entertain me when he gets involved in a match on a pay-per-view with a tag team partner? And quickly, this, some questions we let marinate, but we can't let this one marinate. Zach, what's bonk spelled backwards?
Tanner, it's what you are, a knob, because of you asking me this question. All right? It's knob.
A little sensitive Zach is, wasn't able to put together.
Here, it's a combination of the Danhausen entertaining stuff and the knob, and now I'm just fired up. And now talking about the dogs having heat with me, like I'm building up. I'm building up as the show goes on. I was coming in as like, I'm having a nice afternoon. It's nice and sunny over here. Like, oh, we'll talk about the wrestling a little bit, and now here we are.
The wrestling.
Attacked by the chat.
We'll talk about the wrestling.
Yes.
Well, first of all, again, with the boxed in question, if you just had said yes or no, you wouldn't have worked yourself into this frenzy. And if you were able to put together that bonk backwards was knob the first, second, third, or fourth time, you wouldn't have boxed yourself into this either. You were unable to do that the other night as well. Took you a long time, Zach, to get knob backwards. And it was on the screen for you.
I was looking at the question and I was just like, why is this question being asked? Like, this was like bonk. Who cares? And little did I know how much people cared about it. So
I tell people this story about, we were in the middle of a really important Ottawa Senators discussion on the radio. And I remember it was with Ian Mendez, and it was 4:00 on whatever day it was, but prime time, kind of when everyone's driving home, and serious Sens talk. And I think it was me that opened a banana and I couldn't open it. And somebody said, you're not doing it right. You got to open it from the other end. And both Ian and I were like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the proper way to open a banana is actually not from the stem, but it's from the other side.
Yep.
And I was just blown away. I'm like, there's no way. And even Ian was too. You're just pulling our leg or something, and you look it up. And the next hour was spent about talking about opening bananas. And for months, people would stop me and go, oh my God, that's showing the bananas. And you're like, how about the show on the important Ottawa Senators things that we were really bringing some insight and information and all of these important things to you? Nope, the banana.
That's what people remember. Not for my eloquent and my well-delivered takes on pro wrestling. No, it's because I didn't catch that bonk was knob spelled backwards for a good minute too. I didn't know about that. So
Zach's working himself into a shoot. Oh, we need Zach into a shoot. Skew says fired up. And then here's the we have talked about the pros of doing live shows. And I guess if we're doing a live show, some of the portion of it is to be able to reset.
Yep.
Because that's what you're supposed to do when you're doing live shows. But Tanner says, yay or nay, Zach, all in ladder match, New Day, Young Bucks, Cajun Cope, and FTR. Already discussed earlier on in the program, Tanner.
That's right.
And not Tanner's fault that he didn't know we were going live and joined in, but we've already discussed that. So now comes the tough, do we discuss it again? Do we reset? Or do we just continue on with potassium-based fruits are over, apparently?
That's right.
And the dissecting of a wrestling show is a lot like eating a banana. Sometimes you need to do it from the other end.
Really introspective here on This Is Wrestling.
Yes, my man. That's very good. You know what? Maybe this does allow us to reset. Can dogs eat bananas, right? I mean, this is the important.
This is off the
question.
rails. This is off the rails.
It's
These are like all the things that have heat with me, other than the banana. Like, other than that,
No, but
everything else that has heat with me.
that one sentence pretty much summarizes everything we've done so far. Can dogs eat bananas? It's like, I don't know, but we got a lot of angles to attack it from.
It's true.
Zach's hated by dogs. We know how to open up
A
bananas.
dog. I'm hated by a dog. A singular dog.
Just eat the damn banana. That was my point, excuse. But I got ridiculed, like taken to task by all the people who open bananas from the other end to be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, you're not doing it right, and you have no idea what you're talking about. Josiah says, I'm running on 4 hours sleep, finding this way funnier than I should. No, it's actually really funny.
It's actually very, very funny when you really look at it.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Le Champion's trying to get us back on track here, which I do appreciate.
To help sell tickets for Backlash, thoughts possible of CM Punk being his partner. It's known that they like each other. Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to get into talking about Backlash.
Backlash.
So
Backlash. My favorite one on that promo video is when it goes to RVD.
Yep.
And he's like, at Backlash, and then it cuts him off. And they kept it in the edits.
I know.
It's so good.
But see that video with Danhausen, it's funny.
Backlash. See, stuff like that is why I find Danhausen entertaining.
You don't have to justify it. It's a yes or no. The answer is yes. So do I.
Yep.
Funny.
That is funny.
Like, gosh. I'm just getting everyone to do it. Triple H's, of course, was so over the top that you couldn't even under Backlash
with the hair all like down on his forehead and just. But the RVD one is the one that pops me every time because he's probably thinking he's going into a promo. They just cut him off.
The champion says he sold me on the PPV with that short. Okay, I'm gonna try to get us back on track a little bit with the WWE question, and then move back to Tanner's question about AEW and some other stuff. I will tell you that they pulled Roman Reigns off of all of the Raws in June. They did that today or yesterday, or off of all the promotional posters. He's not going to be on Monday Night Raw now in the month of June at all. Is there any way that you take the title off of him, whether it's to Jacob Fatu or somebody else, if he is going to be away? Or did this come to the territory of putting the title on him in the first place?
I think the latter. It's also how it depends on how they look at the World Heavyweight Championship at this point. Is that a championship that you can risk having it not be on TV for several weeks, or in this case, a month, when it comes to Roman Reigns, and you can bring it back for later in the summer? I think it can be, just the way that it's been treated over the last, really since it's been introduced into WWE. So while it does kind of, you obviously want to have it on TV and you want to see the visual of Roman Reigns with it to try and establish some more credence to it. In another light, you can also see it as, well, the way that they've established this belt, you can take it off TV and it's really not going to be that much of a hindrance if the belt is off of TV, just the way that they booked the belt over the last couple of years. So,
So I'm a big believer in that the man makes the belt.
Yep.
If you have multiple belts that kind of mean the same thing. If you only had one world title and you've treated it accordingly, I think then the belt probably makes the person. But when you got two belts and you're trying to explain which one is which and how they had to take Undisputed off of one of the titles because it's not the Undisputed title because there's literally another belt that means the same thing. It's not that they have two belts, one for Raw, one for SmackDown. It's the fact that there's 84 belts and then you have two world champions, which makes no sense because anyone who doesn't watch wrestling goes, well, then they should just fight. And you're like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like, Raw's on Mondays and SmackDown's on, but why don't they just fight and make one?
Yeah.
And why isn't it just one champion? And you're trying to defend it. Like, yeah, you're probably right. They should just fight. But they don't want to do that. So to me, it's the person that makes the title, and Roman Reigns makes that title. I think CM Punk did a pretty good job, but Roman Reigns having that title makes it worth more. It suddenly, to me, means more than the other title. It was on last at WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns has it, and that was the best match. And whatever you did with the other title, you literally closed with an angle that was going to lead into something off of WrestleMania, and now you're doing nothing with it.
Yep.
Like, they're telling you that that title doesn't mean anything. They had Pat McAfee, they had Jelly Roll, they had all kinds of things. They had a title match at WrestleMania on a Saturday night that closed with an angle, and then that angle led to nothing. So the title doesn't mean anything. That's what they're telling you. So I think you can have Roman continue to have that belt, and it means a lot going through the summer. But I don't know. He said he was going to be around all summer. He literally said that the night of WrestleMania on the post show, that he's going to be there. And now they've taken everything down in the month of June, and maybe something's come up, but I don't know. Doesn't feels like they're going back on their word on that, I guess.
Yeah. None of this part-time stuff, Lee. I'll see you this summer. Other than June. We're not doing June. July, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, and with SummerSlam's at the very beginning of August, so after that, I'll take the rest of that month.
Yeah,
off,
then after
too.
that, the summer's off, pal.
Yeah.
Summer's just 1 month anyway.
Skew says Roman holding a title belt will look good. The Street Fighter movie premiere in TKO's eyes. Yep, I don't doubt it. And Josiah, honestly, TKO going back on their word, just another on the list of terrible PR moves that TKO's made the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
they
don't
don't
even
care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care. All they care about is just whatever sort of money comes into the system. They don't care how. They don't care. Like, you saw even in the WrestleMania programming how many ads there were. They don't care if the viewers get upset about that. They don't care.
Apparently, the champion cares because he says, you still haven't answered my question on CM Punk being Danhausen's partner.
I thought the groan was enough.
Yeah, so we can move off of it. I'll say yes. Because
why not?
Because Punk going in there will add a little bit of intrigue. Like, who wants to see The Miz and Kit Wilson in a tag team match on a pay-per-view? And as funny as Danhausen is, you kind of need someone to come in and be the meat of what's going on, because it's not in the other three. So whoever is coming in has to be kind of the meat of the sandwich here. And Punk's name is better than anybody else.
Yep. It makes sense on the connection standpoint and what Le Champion said about selling tickets, because he's certainly somebody that could do that. But and it would just be kind of a filler match on the card. Am I looking forward to reviewing it, Lee? I am not. Once the pyro goes off and we introduce magic, I told people this. This is my bar. No magic. I don't need magic in pro wrestling. I'm good. I don't need it. That's any company, by the way. When Broken Matt Hardy was doing the magic stuff in AEW, I was like, no, I don't need the broken gimmick in AEW. And I don't need, Danhausen doing magic and setting off a thing of pyro, at the ring. So we'll see. Who knows? But if it's Punk, I guess it would make sense. I just don't know who else would be the mystery partner. All I know is that it won't be Evil, because Evil did debut on NXT this past week. At least that's what they tell me. I don't watch that programming. So you could have told me anybody else was debuting on NXT, but perfect for Evil to debut on NXT because that means I don't have to watch Evil on the WWE programming for the next little bit. So it's great.
So the card for Backlash to me is actually better. Like, I actually think they've done an abominable job at the storylines, because if I just told you, like, and you knew nothing about any of the storylines, that Trick Williams is going to fight Sami Zayn, that Roman Reigns is going to fight Jacob Fatu, Braun Breaker is going to fight Seth Rollins, Asuka's going to fight Io Sky, and then you have the Danhausen mystery partner match.
Yep.
It's not a terrible lineup as far as the actual people who are wrestling. If you had just put them out there and with no storylines whatsoever, just that Danhausen's got a mystery partner and no other storylines, I'd be like, okay, like it's not the greatest card, but it's not bad.
There have been far worse WWE PLE cards than that. That's for
right.
sure.
But the storyline going into every one of them has been really bad. I find that incredible to look at the card and go, yeah, I just want to ignore everything about what's happened so far and try and watch it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to AEW and get back to I guess I'll segue with one of the last Les Champion questions about Andrade winning the IWGP Global title in New Japan and what that means, if anything. I don't know New Japan as much as you do. I don't put the global title up near, like, it's just another one of those secondary titles to me, so it doesn't really mean all that much. It's not like it's the World Heavyweight Championship, but you tell me.
Yeah, no, it's something to kind of get the belt off of Yota Tsuji for the time being. And, even before he was going to AEW, he was in New Japan. Now, that was because of the circumstances surrounding his contract, obviously. But the global championship it's like what you mentioned. It's kind of just been a more underneath belt than it really, obviously, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And Tsuji has both those belts. So it's just kind of a chance for Tsuji just to kind of hold the one belt, and you can use it as a storyline. It's like, oh, he's lost this other belt that he came in with,
right?
And now, like, is it up for grabs? So yeah, that's kind of how it's going there for that. And it's kind of rewarding Andrade as well, because he's been somebody that's been in New Japan for quite a bit now, even before his return. So don't really have too many hard thoughts on it. Just kind of interesting that, plus with him being part of United Empire in New Japan, it makes it interesting as well. So
we talked about July 19th, and it looks like it's a spot for Redemption, which is going to happen in Montreal for AEW about 5 weeks before All In pay-per-view. So I think everyone's excited about that. Interested in your thoughts on the Will Ospreay Death Riders angle. And to try and recap it for people, they obviously injured Will Ospreay. He was coming back for revenge. He had the chance to do the same thing to Jon Moxley that happened to him. He took the high road. Moxley went to him. They took him out after he was in a match. Will Ospreay, and who was he wrestling where he got kind of beat up again, and they hauled him out of there, the Death Riders, and didn't let him get beat up by the Don Callis family.
The other half of Aussie Open there.
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis.
Yeah. And so they carried him away, and then they had a chat with him in the back. I found it a little bit weird that the next segment that they aired was Will Ospreay kind of walking into the Death Riders. They asked him to come, and he did. And the first thing that Jon Moxley said to him was, "Are you cleared?" And he's like, "No, but I'm going to go over to New Japan with the United Empire anyway, because it's such a big match and they've been there for me. So I'm going to go there for them." But then he got into a training session, which we weren't allowed to see on camera, with Claudio in the back, like not in the ring, but in the kind of the bowels of the arena, but he's not cleared. So I find that a little bit weird, but what do you make of the Death Riders trying to kind of rid Will Ospreay of all of the other things going on with him to try and make him into the biggest kind of killer or, best wrestler, I guess, coming out to do things the way the Death Riders do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of been the storyline for Will Ospreay ever since he got into AEW with the Tiger Driver and having the killer instinct, essentially, to be able to put away guys. And you saw in the storyline with Jon Moxley heading into their match, it's like Jon Moxley's like, look, I look at this as, just as the life of being a professional wrestler. You can't be so, in on yourself and not have that killer instinct, because you might be upset that I, broke your neck or something, but I look at this as another, Saturday or Wednesday or whatever, like as part of the business. And so doing something like this where Jon Moxley's kind of giving the advice to a Will Ospreay to say, hey, like, this is what you need to get to that next level so you could be a world champion in this company, I think is interesting in concept, something different. It is a little borderline in terms of, like how they're doing it, because they literally kidnapped the guy.
Yeah.
We're talking like a criminal charge here, like taking him away and whatnot. So, and yes, you'll get the argument it's pro wrestling and you got to, but there is still a little bit of a standard you want to try and reach. But I'm interested in the storyline and where it kind of goes. And could there be, with Jon Moxley coming in and teaching Will Ospreay, we were talking about maybe the Owen Hart tournament finals would be in Montreal. Would it be interesting if you have a Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley final,
right,
as just kind of a build up from this?
My next question was going to be that, look, we think Will Ospreay is going to be involved in the main event of All In.
Yes.
And to get there, he's going to have to win the Owen.
Yeah.
So my question as you were talking was like, is he going to face Jon Moxley in the finals?
I think it'd be great storytelling if they did that.
Is it too much of a giveaway that he would win, or is that his final lesson? Like,
I think that would be a final lesson sort of deal. Like, would it be a bit of a giveaway? Yes. But it would still be kind of storyline wise, it would make a lot of sense.
Is there somebody else out there that could be the final lesson that is not Jon Moxley?
I think it just makes too much sense for it to be Moxley in this case.
Okay.
Like, the only other one would be Hangman Page, but we already know with the stipulation he can't challenge again. Unless you wanted to go back on the challenge and him being in the Owen.
Well, I still think, getting a little bit into like Darby Allin, and Darby Allin keeps telling MJF that until you put something else on the line, you are not getting your title shot. And that's been now a storyline for weeks since he won the title. You're not getting a shot until you put something else on the line. Is what he puts on the line going to be that stipulation? I don't know what else he could put on the line that would be worth more than that.
Mm-hmm. And you're looking at it as like, because there is a part of me that's like, well, yes, Darby Allin is a babyface. What would be the benefit for Darby Allin in that case of like putting something on the line for somebody else?
What do you mean?
Like the stipulation would be, I'm going to make sure Hangman can challenge for the championship again. What does that actually kind of do for Darby Allin in that case? Unless you just want to go full company rah-rah, I've been there and I want everybody equal.
Well, what it does is that he wants what's best for everybody. He wants what's best for not only himself, but for AEW and for the other wrestlers and all of the things that have made AEW into what it is. Darby Allin represents.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can tie that in to be at our best. We need Hangman Page back, and we need this. Like, imagine that happens, and then you could do a ton of things. That MJF could beat him for the title, and Hangman would be able to challenge again, or you could have Darby win over MJF, and like find a way down the line to have MJF beat him later and to get Hangman back in. What if Hangman comes back in and turns heel on Darby? Darby did everything to sacrifice to get him back in. And then Hangman comes back and turns heel on him. So he gets his title shot back and then turns heel, and maybe Hangman wins the title. I guess I would go back to ask you, like, what else could MJF put up that would be as significant as this? I don't know if I know the answer. Do you?
Yeah, the only thing would be puts his career on the line or whatever, but I don't think people would buy it. Because that would be like a flashing signal of, okay, he's getting the belt back. And I think we all know, I said it at the earlier part of the show, I'm pretty confident MJF is going to get that title belt back. It would just be a little bit too much of a flashing sign that MJF is getting the belt back.
Do you think it's good for MJF in the short period that he doesn't have the belt to be losing to Kevin Knight like he did on Dynamite?
Clearly, they're invested in Kevin Knight in terms of getting him to that next level. So,
because Kevin Knight pinned MJF.
Yep.
I didn't think that MJF was going to win the TNT title, but I also didn't think they were going to pin his shoulders to the mat.
Right.
So, and it's nice to hear. Kyle is in, and he's been in a couple times. First of all, he says, I agree about the Hangman stip. I just don't know what else Darby keeps referring to. Like, you got to put something on the line. You got to put something on the line. And doing a career thing when they just did the career thing,
right,
almost kind of like the phone call thing.
Yeah.
And Kyle says, isn't Evil just the perfect recruit for WWE from New Japan? You couldn't write it any better.
In terms of the run-ins, absolutely. His matches.
Yeah. But thanks, Kyle. Appreciate you being with us. Again, I cannot think of what MJF could put up on the line that would be more impactful than the stipulation, because I don't know what else he has. Right now, he's got no leverage. Doesn't have the title. He can't get his rematch back. I don't know, like, the diamond ring. Well, he's already lost the diamond ring, really, to Bandito.
Yep.
By the way, did you see the Swerve promo? Cutting the same thing, the same little saloon town that MJF cut his thing in for the pay-per-view.
Yep.
It looks like they got a lot done in that filming session.
Yep.
But that it ended up being Swerve looking for him and lighting the wanted poster on fire, and like, Swerve Bandito. Yes, please. I loved it.
It's good stuff.
So nothing else that you think he can put on the line, MJF? Like, is this the only thing that makes sense?
I get it, the Hangman stip from a certain perspective, but there is a part of me that's like, what would this do for Darby? And even then, if Hangman were to come back and turn heel on Darby, I think it would just make Darby look like an idiot. So I don't know. I get it, but I'm also kind of like, it's a little too dumb babyface for me.
Yeah, but Darby is he's such a company guy that he would do anything for the company. I mean, he brought the AEW flag to the top of Mount Everest.
Right.
Like, in real life. Like, he is the company guy. So him going above and beyond to want the company to be at its best makes sense to me. A little bit. But I also don't know, like, are you doing all of this before All In and putting the belt on Ospreay in August? Like, this seems like a lot.
Yeah. Well, there's also the Omega factor, right? Like, we had that promo segment a couple weeks back with Ospreay and Omega in the training room there.
Mm-hmm.
And Ospreay saying he looks up to Omega and looks to him for inspiration. And that's one of those kind of promos that you have to have some really talented performers to pull that off, because that can come across super sappy and unnatural.
Yep.
But those two guys pulled it off so well in that segment, where I'm like, Omega's not out of the picture just yet. And Omega Osprey is still very much a possibility, even after the MJF even after the MJF match with Omega in Vancouver. So, and plus, you know, you talk about, you know, final challenges. Maybe that's one right there. Maybe it's an Omega Osprey final in Montreal.
Oh boy.
For the Owen. That would be interesting. If it's not Moxley.
What are they at in their little...
This would be the third match.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're still 1-1, right?
Yep.
Man.
If we have the opportunity to go down to Montreal to see Omega Osprey again, like,
yeah.
But even then, like an Osprey Moxley match, I would not be upset at either.
Josiah says Darby's promo after winning the title was also around him saying the company existed for the fans and he'd always do what's best for them. Hangman in the title picture is what is best for them. I agree. Josiah says, fellas, if we get to see Omega and Osprey live again.
Yes.
Kyle says, hell yes, Omega Osprey in Montreal would tear the place down. We were fortunate enough to see. And this is where I always remind people about belts. Like, you would get the answer to this, but how many people would get the answer to what belt was actually on the line that night? And it's the United States title of New Japan.
Right. It's like, oh yeah, that title was on the line.
Like, I couldn't tell you who has it now, what's going on with it, what's happened since, anything about it. But I know that match was unbelievable. The best match that I've ever seen live.
Same here.
Which was immediately followed by Kazuchika Okada and Bryan Danielson.
And Danielson coming out to the final countdown for the first time in decades.
And breaking his arm and still beating Okada.
Incredible.
Like, and it wasn't as good as Omega Osprey.
No, it was like, that was a good match, but it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember buzzing about that show. Oh my goodness.
No Jack Perry Sonata. But
yes, that was also on
the oh, that's okay.
I was like, oh boy.
So imagine getting that again. But to look at that show now in July and to think about what's possible, because what if Hangman was back? I think they're trending very, very, very well towards All In. If guys don't get hurt.
Yep.
Because
even then, they've set up some branches in case something, God forbid, does happen. They still have some branches set up where they could, like, this is a well-booked company, Lee. This is a pretty well-booked company right now. They're honed in, they're focused. There's interesting possibilities that they could go down. And like the road into All In has been looking pretty solid right now.
Even coming up at Double or Nothing, like we already have Okada and Takeshita. And we have Edge and Christian with their tag team careers on the line against FTR. And you're obviously going to get a world title match. Maybe they do it quick enough that Swerve and Bandito happens then. I don't know. But you're right. They've mixed in Brody King into the title mix. Kevin Knight is on a heater. So they've mixed in a lot of different things. What do you make of Darby Allin beating Brody King? Is it believable?
I don't mind it in this case. I didn't think that match was as good as Tommaso Ciampa versus Darby Allin the week before. That was an incredible TV match.
Agreed.
Oh, that was so good. Ciampa came in there with a purpose in that match. It wasn't as good. I find Brody King doesn't really deliver in a lot of these spots. in the big title matches. I think he's good, like in the upper mid card area. Like I think he's a solid over guy, but I've noticed there's been a little bit of a trend where he's not bad. I'm not saying he's going out there and he's got 2 left feet and he's just watching left, right, and center. I'm thinking of it more like, I don't know if he's a main event guy. I think he's somebody you could put in on like a episode of Dynamite challenge like we saw against Darby.
But that's his peak.
Right. That's his peak. Like, I don't see him being a pay-per-view main event guy.
Right. I also think of is Kyle Fletcher coming back and doing what? Like, what is he going after Kevin Knight and they're just going to tear the house down?
Yep.
And Kevin Knight's
battle between the future.
Yeah, Kevin Knight's going to keep the title until All In, and they're just going to tear the house down. So you would bring in the New Day in the 4-way? Yes. Listen to the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I did say yes, put him in the 4-way, but not a ladder match. I can't go that far ahead. But if you want to make a statement, put all those guys, all those teams together in the 4-way, and you have that opening bell pop of all the top tag teams in the world are here in AEW. I don't see why you can't do that. And I'm sure they would have a great match on top of that. Just no ladder, please. I'm begging you all. Please resist the ladder. You don't need it. You've already got like, this could use no, this is not one of those matches like, this could use a ladder match. No. Have some self-control. We don't need the ladder match. We're good. If I don't have to see a ladder match for the next year, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. Happiest guy.
Don't like agreeing with you, Zach, but I do think it's not needed.
Not needed
like
at all.
You said in this. And I'm just going to make a quick comparison. I found what I would call, because he's the barometer for me. I have found the LA Knight of AEW for me.
Oh, okay. Now I'm interested to hear who is the LA Knight. Can I give a guess?
Yes.
Can I give a guess? I'm not saying they're comparable charisma-wise or anything like that. I'm just saying in terms of a certain level of push. I'm going to say Jack Perry.
Okay. Was not the answer that I had, but I can see why you're going there. The Jack Perry match with Dorada was probably better than any LA Knight match that I've seen.
I think that's fair.
He had a really good match this week on Collision, but still, yeah. But I'm telling you, like, it's more of the when this guy or people come out, I'm like, oh, I just got to get through.
Oh, come on, Tanner. Unbelievable.
You know what? I needed somebody to pop me at the end of a show. Like, we're almost 2 hours deep here.
Unbelievable.
And Tanner's like, 0 for 2 on Jack Perry predictions. And I wasn't even thinking like, oh, I'm going to say no so Zach can be wrong on it. Was no, that's not the people.
No, the thought didn't cross my mind about
but now that Tanner's popped me, like,
unbelievable.
Yeah. Incredible. So I don't like LA Knight. And so I want to kind of tell the story of like when LA Knight comes out on TV, and I get that he's kind of over, and I get that some people like him. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah.
And so I feel the same now with all, like, every member for sure, but specifically 2 of them. I need the Bang Bang Gang and the Guns off my television. I just do. Like, I just can't. Like, I don't know who Juice Robinson is anymore when he comes on. It's just this weird, zany character. I don't know why Ace Austin is a part of the Bang Bang Gang. So when they say the Bang Bang Gang is out, and it used to be Jay White and the Guns, and somehow it turned into Juice Robinson and Ace Austin, which I have no idea how. But now the Guns are back. They came back, Zach, and I'm like, I'm out already. Like, they're back, and they're doing we got 2 words for you. I'm like, I'm out. That's my 2 words. I'm out.
You're out. Oh, the guns. I wasn't thinking the guns. That's a good pick.
Just because every time they come out, I'm like, no, I don't want to watch. I just don't.
You're out on the guns. I'm not in on the we went on a post game show, and of course, as you would expect at an Ottawa Senators post game show, I said, "So, what was your favorite Billy Gunn match, Lee? Like, what's the Billy Gunn match that sticks out to you during his incredible career?" It's translated to his sons now. Like, I just look at the sons and I'm like, yeah, there's tall gun and small gun that's out there, and and I was like, yeah, guns up. I get it. Ha ha ha. You know?
Yeah. No ha-ha-haing at all. So they came out and
they are the Billy Guns of the tag team division. So
I just feel like they give me the same vibe that LA Knight does when he comes out on TV, which is like, I need to turn the channel.
Yeah.
So as we approach the 2-hour mark, I think we'll probably start to shut her down. But I will tell you, Zach, that you and I will be producing very soon some other content, including, I'm not sure if it'll be 1 or 2 on the Hulk Hogan documentary, but I am now complete.
You're now complete.
I am now complete.
There you go.
4 episodes of the Hulk Hogan documentary on Netflix, and I can tell you I have lots to say.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we could come up with. You never know. You see with these live streams, you never know what's going to pop up.
You don't ever know.
So who knows with the Hulk Hogan reviews, but
Excuse says, great episode for both dogs and bananas alike.
Yes. Big of the as Josiah said earlier, the potassium-based fruit audience.
So please do an episode for each one. Really get into it from Kyle. So I asked Zach, because I had not seen it yet, and Zach had seen it already, Kyle. And I said, do we need to do one for every episode? Do we need to do 2? Do we need to do it all in one? Zach's initial was, we need to do it all in one. And I said, okay. But Kyle, like you, I kind of feel like
one by one.
He says, well, no, he says 1 episode for all of them doesn't work for me, brother.
Very nice tribute to the Hulkster there.
Yeah. So I would agree with that. I think it's probably going to be 2. My spoiler alert would be, in the first episode, I don't know that there's enough to fully do a show on episode number 1. I started to get into, maybe we could do one on episode 1 and 2. But I would say the back half of the 2nd episode and the 3rd episode, I could do a lot on it.
There's just a lot to discuss in those episodes. And even in episode 4, for me, in terms of just new stuff, I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then one of my favorite people makes an appearance on episode 4 too, as well, Lee. So
who is that?
You'll have to find out in the review, Lee.
One of your favorite people.
Could be anybody, Lee.
No, I just watch. I feel like I should have the answer to this, but Well, Luna thanks you. Growls at Zach.
I feel like that's a work.
I think my cats would growl at Zach also.
The Champion's bringing the heat at me.
Yeah, but that's not a work. Not the friendliest of cats.
Oh. They just don't like people coming in?
One of them more than the other, but yeah, they're not I can't, they kind of look the same, and one's named Maya and one's named Koba, and I'm like, where did it come from? Because Mayakoba is a place. It's like, yeah, just Mayakoba, Mexico. But I'm not sure which one's which still. One of them's nicer than the other, but nice is not they're not overly friendly.
I was going to say, comparatively speaking.
Yeah. One is like, you can deal with.
Yeah.
Kyle says you should really read his autobiography before you do the review, just to make sure you're brushed up. See, the problem, Kyle, with this show is that you got to go back and fact check all sorts of stuff.
I know.
That Hogan says. Like,
absolutely.
I did exactly what I told Zach I was going to do, which is I'm watching it. And it's why it took me a little bit longer to get through it. Oh, I got to pause. I got to do a bit of fact checking on that.
Yep.
That's not exactly correct, Mr. Hogan, but
Yeah. Mr. Malaya.
and then we'll continue. Oh, that's not correct either. So a lot going on in that, but certainly an interesting watch for people. If you don't know anything about Hulk Hogan, I appreciate the fact that they did get into some things. They didn't just gloss over like the real American hero.
We'll talk about it in the review, but there's certainly like they did talk about some things, but they didn't go as in depth as you would.
No,
like
but you always say that, like, and I think you should, because if they're going to do something like this, they never quite go as far as you'd like them to go.
Yeah, there's one big glaring thing, like all throughout, that we'll talk about in the review. So,
and Kyle and me are on the same page. Fact checking Hogan is hard work. I'm telling you, it made it very difficult to watch when you're pausing it all the time, because you just don't believe a lot of what he had to say. So yes, hard work. All right. Any predictions? Game 7 tonight's in 2 hours, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know how I am with predictions, so this should go very well. So in terms of the Game 7 between Montreal and Tampa, this has been a hard fought series. It's been very good series to watch. It's been entertaining. I'm going to say Tampa wins. I'll say Tampa wins in Game 7.
Yeah.
In terms of the Cleveland and Toronto series, Toronto has looked solid in the series. It's just, that one I think is going to be tough to call. And plus, basketball out of the major four is probably the weakest one. There's my ball knowledge. But I'll go for the just the way that they won in Game 6 and trying to feed off of that. And they weren't playing bad. So I'll say the Raptors will win Game 7 and move on. So
my gut tells me that Tampa wins in hockey and that Cleveland wins in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably cheering for both of the opposite to happen. I don't have a big Montreal connection at all. But I do understand that the difference in going out Friday night to watch the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa play with the entire bar, with the volume on and every TV and people kind of oohing and awing at every save Vasilevsky made, as opposed to even trying to drum up excitement to watch Philadelphia and Carolina last night. Like, if Montreal is out and Edmonton's already out, like all the Canadian teams are out, there's not, like, you're just going to lose interest. And it doesn't mean that you're not a hockey fan, and it doesn't mean that you're not still going to somewhat care. But I'm telling you, it's a long 6 or 7 weeks before the Stanley Cup when you don't have a polarizing team in there at all. So I'll be cheering for Montreal, but I don't really care. And I would love to say the Raptors. I'll be certainly cheering for the Raptors.
Yeah.
But every home team has won so far in the series. The Raptors led all game long in Game 5 and then let it slip at the end. But they probably didn't deserve to win Game 6. So until they win a game on the road, it'd be tough to go against the team when they're 0-3 on the road so far in this series. So,
yeah.
I would like the road teams to win tonight, and we'll see if they can. Zach, this has been fun. This is wrestling.
It has.
Yeah, certainly. Are you a little bit calmer now?
I think you're good. As soon as we got out of the path of the dogs and the
bananas,
bananas and whatnot. Well, the bananas were fine. I don't have heat with bananas. It was just everything else that I have heat with.
I love the fact that you have to say on the show, I don't have heat with bananas.
That's right.
I don't. It's
no heat whatsoever. I'm in fact, I'm a big fan of the bananas.
Yeah. Dogs.
And here's the thing. I don't have heat with dogs either. It's the dogs that have heat with me.
Right.
Okay. Like, that's how it's working.
Phone call, mystery partner storylines.
Yeah. I think the WWE fans were safe from my exceptional sarcasm during that bit when it came to the phone calls. It's like, this creative team, how creative are they? Well, they're doing the same angle that they did a month ago that also didn't work. So, you know,
I'm just waiting for the mystery caller to be the tag team partner, or like
that would be
a phone call to get the mystery partner. Just combine them.
why not? Well, based on trends, it's going to be an ESPN guy, so can't wait for it to be Stephen A. Smith in the corner of.
Did hear those rumors?
Yeah.
Kyle says, "Keep up the good work, guys. Podcast always great. Love the longer shows."
See, that's the thing. People love the longer shows. I don't understand.
I think I do though, because I think I understand that. Number one, it gives them something to do if they're listening like to and from work, or like it does go on a little bit longer, but there's a certain point where we just get a little bit silly. Like we've gone past the point, like the show should have been stopped. It was not stopped.
Yes.
And now what are they possibly doing? And it gets to a different, like a layer that people don't see or hear all that often.
How are they going to land this plane? Essentially, is the
right?
Yes,
and there's a legitimate. I have no idea where this could go.
This could go anywhere. As we learned, bananas could get brought up, you know, and
I don't have heat with bananas, brother. Okay.
no heat here, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not like Undertaker with cucumbers. Like I don't have a fear of it. Like, have you heard that story where Undertaker?
No, but I also kind of have a fear of cucumbers, so I get this.
Oh, so you relate to Mark Calloway on
yes,
that. Or as you know, Mark Calloway, the booker of a AAA, or as Ric Flair said it, Mark Calloway's promotion, Undertaker's promotion. So,
oh boy, oh boy. Okay, well, we're gonna say goodnight and know that we'll be back soon. I know the Hogan documentary stuff will be coming out.
Yep.
Here we go. Here's the biggest compliment ever. I like to listen as I'm going to bed. You guys put me to sleep. Doesn't say that, but we get it. The silliness, the best part of when you guys get fired up. I'm remembering the cage match run-ins rant. Excuse says I'm keeping this episode on my save gimmick.
Yes, I heard that too. Save gimmick.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
And I get a little bit riled up about the cage matches, and it's designed
on the run-ins that happened in the cage match.
Designed to not have anybody interfere. So this will be the final battle, one-on-one. So we can settle it all, and then it's never a one-on-one.
No. The referee just has the door open, and they're looking at the guy walking. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Do your jobs. That's your job to keep the door closed. Don't get mad at the wrestler. That's your job."
All right. You know what? We will. One of the shows will have a list of all of the kind of things like that, and we'll just go through them all. Right from steel cage run-ins to mystery phone callers to how many masked men can there possibly be?
Yeah. We moved on from the masked man. Now we're getting to phone calls. Maybe it's the other on the line. It is a masked man that we still don't know. Like that. You can't rule out at this point. Maybe Danhausen's mystery partner is a masked man. Like that could be funny. If they just like do a meta on the gimmick.
If they leaned into it.
Yeah.
And did that.
Yeah. It's a masked man, but it's got Danhausen's face paint over the mask. Like, okay, you know what? I'm in. I'm kind of, at least they're self-aware. I would have a little bit more respect for Triple H.
But then you have the match and you have them wondering, and you have the exit angle of who actually was that. And they continue it like on Monday Night Raw. Like, who was that? And everyone tries to figure out who it was. And Danhausen's playing magic with
let's not get too crazy with the magic. Let's, we don't need to do the magic stuff. I don't know.
No, but like it's one guy the one day and it's another person the other day. Oh, I like this angle a lot, Zach. I like it.
We should be in the room.
All right. Lots of stuff coming out. Thanks for being with us. We had a great group today. I didn't expect. Whether it was Josiah or Skuse or Kyle or the Champion or Tanner, I didn't expect people to be a part of it on a Sunday afternoon. Sometimes it's like, well, if we're going to record, why don't we just throw on the live switch and see what happens because we're still recording. So
That's right.
But you all have to go back and listen to this from the recording, and you don't get away with it.
Yeah, no, you got to listen to the start. You got to listen to the start.
Yeah. You missed a little, you missed a lot. All right. Thanks, Zach. And thanks everyone for listening. We will be back soon because there is so much going on. As we sit here at the beginning of May, we got Backlash coming up in a week. We got Double or Nothing in 3 weeks. And we know it only continues from there. So for Zach McGibbon, I'm Lee Versage. Thanks for being with us on a live edition of This Is Wrestling.